Hello everyone, it's Yin Yang Total War, and I'm back with another episode from our newest series, Modded Content for Warhammer 3, where we take a look at my personal mod collection and discuss what mods do and why they could make this already amazing game even more fun and immersive. In today's episode, we'll talk about the awesome campaign mechanic mods that generally benefit all campaigns, or at least most of them. But without further ado, we've got 12 mods to cover, so let's get into them. And jumping straight into the game for this one, it's going to be the mod configuration tool by Groove Wizard. Now, if you want to access this in-game, all you have to do is come up to this top left corner, click on the little gears icon, and there you go. Now, looking at what this mod does, if you have it by itself, it's really not going to be doing much of anything. What it can do for you is log your game to see if you have any crashes, right? If you have any crashes, it'll log it for you and it'll pop down into the data files for you to review. Otherwise, I would just leave this alone. Moving on, what it really does is it makes mods more user-friendly, right? Whereas before, you might have to ask a modder to create a specific mod that doesn't include, say, the Storm Fiends, right? For Molder's Menagerie, which is a mod we will touch on another day. But say that you don't like the End Times, you don't like the Storm Fiends, you feel like they're overpowered. Well, all you have to do, click on these buttons. Bam, they're all turned off. You still get all of the Molder units that you can get from Molder's Menagerie, and you don't have to worry about the Storm Fiends. Why you wouldn't want the Storm Fiends, I have no idea, but there you go. Looking at another mod, let's look at Mixu's Unlocker. If you want more Bretonnian factions to pop up, go for it. If you want to show minor factions in your starting screen, go for it. If you want AI Reichland to start with the entire province or not, that's up to you. Looking at Nagash, you want to, you want to have all of these factions be 100% obedient to you. You can change it to that. Archaon's obviously going to be obedient to you no matter what, but the rest of them might not, right? So if you want that, you can change it. You can change this to 100. Let's not just click. There we go. Now Vlad is automatically going to be loyal to you. Now I'm going to reset that because I like a little randomness in my game. Same thing with, let's say, one that we will actually be touching on today, which is recruit defeated legendary lords. So if you've seen my gameplay for recruit defeated legendary lords, then you know I have like 5 events pop up per turn telling me about all the factions that died and whether I want them. I can change that right here. We can put it back down to 1, or we can keep it at 5 like I have it. You can have the preferences. So do you want them to go to people they like better first? Well, pop that up here. Would you prefer them to go to you first so that you get first dibs at everyone? Pop it right there. If you want Chaos to have the same restrictions that CA made, which I think are strange, there you go. Lawful restrictions, right? I'll let you pause that and read that if you want to. Or no restrictions. That's how I like to play because I like all of the Chaos factions to come together. Right? And cross race experimental. That is going to be what lets you have Dark Elves as Chaos. That is going to be what lets you have Greenskins as the Empire. This is the ultimate sandbox tool. So I say totally go for it or not, your choice. But that'll really be it from Groove Wizard. It's just I'm sorry, not Groove Wizard. The mod configuration tool by Groove Wizard. It is really just a tool for modders to allow you to customize their mods in any way that you see fit. Now, not all modders participate in this. For example, I don't participate in this. I don't know why I would. All that I do is change the height of some human characters, right? So, but it is it's there for you to have. Let's go ahead and move on. And taking a look at Recruit Defeated Legendary Lords by Smokin', you can see, or you probably have seen in one of my Let's Plays, that it is a mod that lets you take the either legendary characters or just the faction leader, depending on whether that faction had legendary characters, from defeated factions. Now, the point of this kind of mod, right, is to say you're playing as Karl Franz, right, and Balthazar Gelt doesn't want to confederate with you, but at the same time he gets wiped out, right, because the Empire's confederation system is different, right? It's if you don't have enough fealty, blah blah blah. So what this does is it makes sure that that character is not lost to the campaign. So Balthazar Gelt gets defeated, and you get an option to bring him in under your faction, right? And it's more relatable for factions that are far away, like Marcus Wolfhart or the Grand Theogenes, whose name I'm forgetting right now, Volkmar the Grim. But what it can also be expanded to do is allow cross race. So, for example, I would never see the Wormkins become part of the Empire, right? Their leaders aren't going to become part of the Empire, but let's just say, for the sake of this, that they do. We'll take them, right? We'll take the Knights of the Flame, right? Red Cloud seems like a bad mix, but why not? Black Venom, I say we go for it. And the Sightless. Anyway, we're going to take a look at recruiting a new character. So, I have my usual Elector, I have my usual Generals of the Empire, and I have a Marauder Chieftain from the Wormkins, right? Or I have an Exalted Lord of Chain. Doesn't seem right for the Empire, but to each his own, because, you know, this is a sandbox. You want a couple Great Goblin, Goblin Great Shamans? Go for it. Or, more lorefully, right, a Bretonnian comes and rests at your court, and maybe he decides to serve alongside of you. That makes sense. It's not completely out of the realm of possibility. So, that is the basis of what that mod does. We won't linger too long on it because we've still got more to hit, so let's get into it. And here we'll be looking at a mod called All Diplomatic Options by 50/50. Now, that's not the entire name, but you get the point. It's going to unlock more diplomatic options for everybody, not just one specific race. So if you played the Champions of Chaos and enjoyed subjugating everyone that you came across to get them to donate more souls to you on a constant basis, well, that same kind of concept can be applied to everyone now. Here I am conquering the last of an ogre faction with Azag the Slaughterer. Now, he is smarter than your average orc thanks to the Crown of Sorcery, so maybe he wants to subjugate these ogres instead of just eradicating them, right? So I'm gonna subjugate them. Now the rock skulls belong to us. Now, looking at the other stuff that we can do.
What? This is my place.
Now, you can always confederate with other greenskins, but there are races where you cannot do that. It is available now. Now, you're not going to be able to cross-race confederate. I'm not going to be able to confederate with Ungrim. Oh, I'm not going to be able to confederate with Ungrim, right? But I can vassalize Ungrim if I put him into a position that he does not have a choice but to accept. Now I can either conquer down to his last settlement and subjugate him that way, or I can go all the way down, or I can surround him completely and outpower him so much that he feels it's necessary. On the other side, I can also offer vassalization to people who like me. We're not at the point in the campaign yet to where that's going to really be an option, but it is something that I wanted to point out. And finally, although I do not have one lined up right now, I could liberate. So let's say that Karak Kadrin wipes out Red Eye, right? If I get myself all the way down to Red Eye's original capital, I can bring them back from the brink. Now, am I going to do that as an orc? No, because they can just come work for me, right? But it is an option. And that really covers it for that mod. So let's move on to the next one. Jumping back in here with Azhag, I thought it would be a great time to talk about the Better Alliance mod. Now, the Better Alliance mod does a couple things. The first thing it does is it makes your alliances, well, better. If you go to war and your ally decides not to join you, that doesn't automatically break your alliance. If you vassalize or ally with someone and build an outpost, let's take a look at war coordination. Your allegiance is going to build faster, right? And this is a bad example, but if you recruit an army, which I don't have enough right now, but if you recruit an army, they will stay with you for 20 turns instead of 10. And finally, most importantly, at least for me, is that it increases your allied recruitment all the way up to 20. Now, I'll have to go into this mode for that. But if you look down here, you can have an entire army of allied units, which gets me kind of thinking, right? Having just taken Fort Jakova and having attacked a very, very lucrative caravan, as you can see here, Azhag has realized that this is a great place to set up shop, and he wants someone to stay here and continue to raid caravan. So, who would be best for that, right? Well, why not get somebody who already does that kind of thing, an ogre? Using our Recruit Defeated Legendary Lords mod, we can take a tyrant that we saved from extinction. And because we have vassals who are ogres, why not give him some ogre warriors? Let's pop him in Fort Jakova real quick. Let's give him some ogre warriors. 1 and 2. And he can have 20 ogre warriors, right? Or whatever mix and match he wants. I can give him 2 ogres, I can give him 3 orcs, and that's the start of a pretty decent army, right? Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to the next mod. Alright, and stepping back in with Karl Franz, I thought he would be a great way to showcase one of the best mods on the workshop by Bagholder. It is going to be the Warband upgrade and the Warband upgrade cross race submod. So these two mods together do some amazing things. The first one is going to give you an upgrade tree in the styles of the Warriors of Chaos. So if I'm starting as a unit of archers, I can become Free Company Militia, then crossbowmen, huntsmen, handgunners, etc. Or if I'm starting with spearmen, I can become shielded variant, swordsman, move my way over to halberdiers, and then to great swords, so on and so forth, right? And this kind of tree is built for every race in the game, and some modded ones actually. So what cross race does is it allows you to take those allies that you can get from Bagholder's Better Alliance mod, or just in general, and allow you to take them up the upgrade tree as well. So if I'm allied with dwarves, I recruit some dwarves into my army, guess what? I can take them through their upgrade tree, right? Miners become warriors, become longbeards, become ironbreakers and hammerers. Same thing for Cathay, right? Your peasants can go down the path all the way up to Great Longma Riders, which might be a little lore inaccurate, but that's okay. Your Bretonnian peasantry can do the same. And knights have their own separate tree, which is very loreful, right? Knights errant become knights of the realm, become questing knights, become grail knights. Even some factions that you might not think of as imperial or imperial aligned, dark elves, right? Moving up the tree. High elves, Kislev, the Ogre Kingdoms, Wood Elves, and the list goes on and on. Now, each race is going to have their own faction, their own upgrade tree, as well as factions that would naturally, or in some cases, like the Dark Elves, unnaturally ally with your race. Chaos is going to have access to Beastmen and Skaven upgrades, as well as the Demonic upgrade. Orcs are going to have ogres and chaos dwarves, which seems very wrong, but that's okay. Skaven are going to have chaos. Dark elves are going to have the other elves. Dwarfs are going to have humans. The list goes on and on. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to the next mod. And jumping into our Archaon Let's Play for this next one, we're going to be looking at Immortal Landmarks by Heimdall. Now, what does this mod do? It's going to be introducing 150 new landmarks, 300 new effects, custom quest battles, dilemmas, items, etc. It's going to also include flavor text, which is always fun, and the beautiful icons that are, I believe, hand done. So, or custom done. I probably shouldn't say hand done. But let's take a look at one of those landmarks. I wish that we had time to cover all of them, but that would be a video all in of its own, and probably an hour to record and a day and a half to research. So I'm just going to show you one of my favorite landmarks that it adds, and that's going to be the Howling Citadel. Now, what is the cool thing that this does? Yes, it's got undivided corruption, blah blah blah, but look at the top right there. It's going to open a portal to the South Pole and Brass Keep, so you can start jumping around the map wherever you basically want to, right? It's going to open that up for you. If I want to go down south and conquer the rest of the natural chaos lands, that's exactly what I can do as soon as I unlock this, right? If I want to jump straight into the heart of the Empire, just like Be'lakor can do, then I can use the Howling Citadel to do just that. And this is only one of 150 landmarks, guys. Very, very cool mod to have, and something you should definitely check out. Moving on to the next mod. Now, for this one, we're actually going to be covering two mods, still using our Archaon Let's Play. So, the first mod that we're going to be taking a look at is AI's 69 skill points mod. Now, while I don't have a bunch of skill points to add right now to show you, you can see that I have level 2 Archaon and much more than 21 boxes checked, right? That is going to be from AI's 69 skill points. It's a very simple mod that adds extra skill points to every level in a cascading faction. So level 2 you will get 1, level 3 you will get 2, Level 4, you will get 3, and then level 5, you will be back down to 1 in that order. So for the next mod, we're not even going to have to move off of this screen because it is going to be Legendary Lords Legendary Mastery. What this mod does is it sets your Legendary Lords apart by making them have more filled out skill trees, right? It's going to, for example, add way more to Archaon than what he has in vanilla. If your lord is a spellcaster, it's going to make them a legendary spellcaster, not just another run-of-the-mill or some mixed lore that you have to choose a couple weak ones, a couple strong ones. No. If you're a mixed lore lord, you're going to have those full lores. Archaon, for example, has 4. He has metal. He has fire. He has shadows. He has, oh, come back. There we go. He has death, right? And that's not all. He has his own custom line that ends in the Anointed of Chaos. Oh, I'm sorry, that ends in Ascension to Demonhood. And then down here, he's got his own as well, the Herald of the End Times. That makes a huge difference and makes him feel like the Lord of the End Times, right? Bringing you huge bonuses that you otherwise would not be getting. Let's go ahead and move on to the next mod. All right, jumping back out to the workshop for this one, it's going to be the Siege AI and Mechanics Overhaul. I apologize that I don't have any campaign footage to show you, but that would take quite a while to get up the right circumstances for this to kick off. So what this mod basically does, the main premise is that it's going to force the AI into situations where it will attack you, right? It's going to take away that attrition. It's going to increase your build rate for siege equipment, and it's going to take away the ability for you to build towers while you're in the battle map, which was always a silly thing. It also will make level 1 and 2 minor settlement battles be skirmishes for those of you wanting more land battles, right? Except for dwarfs and Bretonnians. It also fixed the Ogre Kingdom Siege AI where they weren't building battering rams, right? It gives them the ability to initiate a siege. So that's really all this one does. It's not too much, but it's very important, especially if you want to be fighting defensive battles. Like who watched the Battle of Helm's Deep and said, I'd rather be the orcs. You know what I mean? I mean, there are people out there, but I'm just saying, like, you don't always have to be the attacker. And that's the point of this mod. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. For our final mod, and we are not going to linger on this one too long, it's going to be the Community Bug Fix mod. It fixes bugs. Bugs introduced by CA. I mean, there's really not much more to it. I can't tell you what all bugs it fixes, but it's a lot. I would definitely encourage you to check it out. Hop on their Discord, find out. They should have a complete list of bugs that they fix, but you guys know, and I know, that this game has plenty of bugs, and these fine modders are all over it. So just get this mod. All right, and finally, that's going to be it for today's mod overview. If there were any that you would like more information on, please let me know. If there are any mods that are not in my collection, I'm always eager to find mods that I have not tried yet. Now, I don't intend to tackle the overhauls because those have plenty of coverage already, but next time, I do believe what we'll start doing is focusing on the different the different races and mods that make them more fun if they work together. So Please let me know if there's anything you would like me to focus on first when we start tackling those. But until then, to all my friends, wherever you are, good morning, good evening, and good night. Thanks again to everyone for watching. I really couldn't do this without the support of my family, friends, and everyone who is helping me take my dream of becoming a content creator to the next level. I believe this channel will only get better as time goes on, so if you want to aid me in this journey, all I ask is you do what the kids say.
Comment, like, and subscribe!
Thanks guys, and we'll see you in the next one.